Stop. Before you throw out that jar of old pennies, watch this. Hidden inside ordinary pocket change. Everyday people have found coins worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, and most had no idea what they were holding until it was almost too late. Welcome back to U.S. Coin Archives. Today we're uncovering 3 legendary Lincoln Wheat Pennies, coins so rare that experts still get chills when one turns up in someone's spare change. This isn't just history. This could be sitting in your house right now. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. And if you want to spot hidden treasure before anyone else does, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to US Coin Archives, and turn on the bell so you never miss a discovery. Let's get started. Number 1 coin. The year is 1940, and inside the Philadelphia Mint, massive steel presses are stamping out millions of small bronze discs, each one destined for pockets, cash registers, and piggy banks across America. Nobody working that production line has any idea that decades later, people will be tearing through old coin jars, dusty drawers, and inherited collections searching desperately for this exact date. The 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny struck with no mint mark, meaning it came from Philadelphia rather than Denver or San Francisco, seems like the most ordinary coin imaginable. And yet, that's exactly why it has become one of the most fascinating targets for collectors chasing hidden treasure in plain sight. Let's look closely at what this coin actually is. It measures 19 millimeters across, weighs 3.11 grams, and is struck from a bronze alloy of 95% copper mixed with tin and zinc, giving it that unmistakable warm reddish glow when freshly minted. On the front, Abraham Lincoln's profile stares forward in quiet dignity, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the date 1940 stamped just beneath his shoulder. Flip it over, and you'll find 2 curved wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent, a design so iconic it defined an entire era of American currency. It looks simple. It looks common. But simplicity is exactly what makes rare survivors so shocking when they surface. In fine condition, most 1940 pennies are worth just a few cents, maybe enough for a cup of coffee at best. Millions were struck, and millions still exist today, scattered in old collections and forgotten coin rolls. But here's where the story turns thrilling. Condition changes everything. A worn, circulated coin and a coin preserved in near-flawless, mint-fresh condition are almost 2 different objects entirely in the eyes of collectors. This is where professional grading enters the picture. Organizations like PCGS and NGC examine coins under magnification, judging strike sharpness, luster, surface preservation, and any trace of wear, then assign a numerical grade. A coin graded MS65 is considered gem uncirculated, sharp, and clean. An MS67 is exceptional, nearly untouched by time. And an MS70, that's theoretical perfection, a coin with 0 imperfections visible even under magnification, the kind of grade that sends collectors into a frenzy, because such coins are almost impossibly rare for a 1940 dated cent. Suddenly, a coin worth pocket change transforms into a coin worth serious money, sometimes hundreds or even thousands of dollars, simply because it survived the decades untouched by human hands. But grading alone isn't the only thing that ignites collector obsession. Mint errors are where legends are born. Imagine a double die variety, where the design was accidentally stamped twice at slightly different angles, creating a ghostly, dramatic doubling effect on the lettering or Lincoln's profile. Imagine an off-center strike, where the coin was punched incorrectly, leaving part of the blank planchet completely blank and the image shifted dramatically to one side. Picture a clipped planchet, where a manufacturing mistake sliced away a crescent-shaped chunk of metal before striking even happened. Add to that weak strikes, unusual die cracks, and rare doubling on the date itself, and you have a checklist that turns ordinary pocket change into an object of obsession. Collectors dream, quite literally, of stumbling upon one of these anomalies sitting quietly in a forgotten coin jar. And this dream isn't just fantasy. Rare error coins and elite condition pennies from this era have shattered expectations at major auctions. Heritage auctions, Stacksbowers, and great collections have all handled astonishing wheat penny sales, some fetching thousands of dollars, with certain ultra-rare Lincoln cent varieties from this broader series climbing into the hundreds of thousands, and in extraordinary headline-making cases, speculation has floated toward multi-million-dollar territory for the most legendary surviving specimens under extraordinary circumstances. These numbers aren't guaranteed, they're not typical, but they're real enough to keep the treasure hunt alive in the hearts of collectors everywhere. That's the emotional core of this obsession. Somewhere out there, in a forgotten cigar box, an old dresser drawer, or a bag of assorted change inherited from a grandparent, an ordinary 1940 penny might be hiding extraordinary value. Collectors are searching relentlessly, sorting through rolls of pennies by hand, hoping for that one life-changing discovery. Every scratch, every hint of luster, every faint doubling on the lettering could mean the difference between a 1-cent coin and a coin worth a small fortune. If you ever find yourself holding a 1940 wheat penny, don't dismiss it too quickly. Trusted dealers and major auction houses see coins like this cross their tables every year, and every single time, there's a flicker of possibility that this exact coin, could be the rare collector coin everyone has been searching for. And while the 1940 penny holds its own quiet mysteries, it's far from the only wheat cent capable of shocking the coin world. There's another date, another year, hiding secrets even more astonishing. Next up, number 2 coin. That other date is 1941, and this time, the coin we're examining tells a very different story from the moment you hold it. This isn't a coin plucked fresh from a protective holder, gleaming and pristine. This 1941 wheat penny is dirty, darkened with grime, its surfaces coated in decades of handling, pocket lint, and environmental exposure. At first glance, most people would toss it aside without a second thought. But seasoned collectors know better. Sometimes the most unassuming, grimy little coin hides a story worth uncovering, and sometimes, buried beneath that layer of dirt, lies valuable pocket change nobody expected. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark, this 1941 cent shares the same core specifications as its predecessor. 19 millimeters in diameter, weighing 3.11 grams, composed of 95% copper along with tin and zinc. Victor David Brenner's dignified portrait of Lincoln still commands the obverse, while the reverse still carries those familiar wheat stalks curling protectively around the words 1 cent. But 1941 was a pivotal year, America edging toward global conflict, mints ramping up production, and copper about to become one of the most strategically important metals in the country. Every penny struck that year carries the weight of a nation on the brink of enormous change. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. A dirty, heavily circulated 1941 penny in poor condition might only be worth a few cents in raw melt or novelty value. But don't let its grimy exterior fool you into dismissing the entire date. Somewhere in circulation, tucked away in old collections, estate sales, or forgotten cigar boxes, pristine examples of this same coin have surfaced in jaw-dropping condition, and when that happens, everything changes. This is where PCGS and NGC step back into the spotlight. These grading services don't just look at a coin, they study it obsessively, using precision lighting and magnification to detect the faintest imperfections. A coin that survived in MS-65 condition, sharp, lustrous, and clean, is already impressive. Push that up to MS-67, and you're looking at a coin so remarkably preserved it barely resembles something struck for everyday commerce. And then there's MS-70, a grade representing theoretical perfection, zero flaws, flawless luster, a coin frozen in time exactly as it left the dies over 8 decades ago. For a heavily produced date like 1941, finding an MS-70 specimen is the stuff of legend, and legends carry price tags that leave people speechless. But grading is only half the thrill. Mint errors are where true chaos and true fortune collide. Picture a double-die 1941 cent, where manufacturing slip caused the date, or lettering to appear ghostly, duplicated, layered slightly off from itself. Imagine an off-center strike, where the coin was fed incorrectly into the press, leaving a crescent of blank, designless metal along one edge. Think about a clipped planchet error, where the blank disc itself was cut wrong before striking even began, creating a coin with a bite-shaped chunk missing. Add weak strikes, mysterious die cracks running like tiny lightning bolts across the surface, and other rare mint mistakes, and you begin to understand why collectors are searching so relentlessly through rolls of ordinary pennies. Each one of these anomalies could turn an everyday coin into a rare mint error worth serious money. And the numbers prove it. Major auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections have handled extraordinary wheat penny sales over the years, with elite condition and error coins from this era reaching thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. Certain ultra-rare Lincoln cent varieties across the broader Wheat Penny series have climbed into six-figure territory. And in truly extraordinary, almost mythical cases, collector speculation has floated the possibility of specimens reaching multi-million-dollar valuations under the right extraordinary circumstances. Nothing is guaranteed, but that flicker of possibility, that whisper of what could be, is exactly what keeps this hobby alive and thrilling. This is the heartbeat of coin collecting, the belief that an ordinary coin could be hiding extraordinary value, that dirty 1941 penny sitting in a drawer, overlooked and unappreciated, might be nothing special, or it might be part of a story nobody has discovered yet. Collectors comb through bank rolls, inherited collections, and flea market bins, driven by the possibility of a life-changing discovery hiding in plain sight, disguised as nothing more than valuable pocket change. Trusted dealers see coins like this cross their counters constantly, most ordinary, a rare few extraordinary. And every single time, there's that same electric question hanging in the air. Is this the one? But as remarkable as 1940 and 1941 have proven to be, they are only warming us up. Because the final coin in this story isn't just rare. It's the kind of coin that has sent shockwaves through the entire collecting world, the kind of coin whispered about in hushed, reverent tones, the kind of coin that, when it finally surfaces, changes everything. Next up, number 3 coin. The last one. That coin is the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny, struck at the Denver Mint, carrying the small letter D beneath the date, a tiny mark that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary in the eyes of serious collectors. In fine condition, this coin has clearly lived a life, passed hand to hand, spent at counters, dropped into jars, forgotten in drawers for decades. And yet, that lived-in history is exactly what makes its story so compelling, because somewhere within this same date and mint combination, examples exist in conditions so remarkable they've left collectors absolutely stunned. Let's step back into 1957 for a moment. America was in the middle of the post-war economic boom, factories humming, consumer spending rising, and the Denver Mint was producing wheat pennies by the millions to keep up with a growing cash-driven economy. This coin measures 19 millimeters across, weighs 3.11 grams, and is struck from that classic 95% copper alloy blended with tin and zinc, giving it a warm, coppery tone that deepens beautifully with age. On the obverse, Lincoln's portrait, sculpted by Victor David Brenner, gazes forward with quiet resolve. On the reverse, 2 wheat stalks curve gracefully around the words 1 cent, a design so beloved it would be replaced just a few years later, making these final wheatback years feel increasingly precious to collectors today. Now, millions of 1957 D pennies were struck, which means, on the surface, this shouldn't be a rare coin at all. And in circulated fine condition, it typically isn't worth much more than face value. But here's the twist that keeps collectors endlessly searching. Survival rate in top condition is an entirely different story. Most of these coins spent years in circulation, picking up scratches, wear, and grime. Truly pristine, uncirculated specimens are far scarcer than the mintage numbers suggest, and that scarcity is where the real excitement begins. This is where PCGS and NGC grading transforms everything. These organizations meticulously examine coins for strike quality, luster, and surface preservation before assigning an official grade. A 1957 D penny graded MS65 is already an impressive gem, clean and lustrous. Climb to MS67, And you're looking at a coin so extraordinarily preserved, it looks almost untouched by the passage of nearly 7 decades. And then there's MS-70, the mythical flawless grade, a coin so perfect under magnification that not a single imperfection can be found. For a business strike coin from this era, reaching MS-70 is exceptionally rare, and when it happens, that ordinary 1-cent coin can transform into a coin worth serious money, sometimes commanding remarkable prices among passionate collectors. But grading alone doesn't tell the whole story. Mint errors are where true legends are born, and 1957 D pennies are no exception. Imagine a double die variety, where design elements like the date or lettering appear dramatically duplicated due to a die alignment mistake during production. Picture an off-center strike where the coin was fed incorrectly, leaving part of the design missing and a strange lopsided blank space instead. Consider a clipped planchet, a coin struck on a blank that was cut incorrectly, leaving a curved bite-like gap along the edge. Add missing mint marks, weak strikes, and unusual die cracks splitting across the surface like fractured glass, and you understand exactly why collectors dream of finding one of these anomalies. Every single one of these mint mistakes represents a rare mint error capable of turning pocket change into a genuine treasure. And the numbers back up the excitement. Heritage auctions, Stacksbowers, and great collections have all sold elite condition and error wheat pennies for jaw-dropping prices, some reaching well into the thousands of dollars, with certain ultra-rare Lincoln Cent varieties from this broader series climbing into the hundreds of thousands. In extraordinary, almost unbelievable cases, collector speculation has stretched toward multi-million-dollar valuations for the most legendary, one-of-a-kind specimens under extraordinary circumstances. These are rare exceptions, not guarantees, but they are real enough to fuel the dreams of every collector checking their change. This is exactly why this hobby remains so thrilling. An ordinary coin hiding extraordinary value could be sitting in your house right now, tucked inside an old jar, a forgotten collection, or loose change from your parents or grandparents. Collectors are searching relentlessly, sorting through rolls, examining dates, mint marks, and tiny details most people would never notice, all chasing that one life-changing discovery that could rewrite their entire year. Trusted dealers and major auction platforms see coins just like this one cross their tables constantly, and every time, that same electric question lingers in the air. Could this be the one? Could this ordinary-looking 1957 Wheat penny be hiding extraordinary value? So here's your part in this story. Grab your coin jars, check your change, examine every wheat penny you come across, because valuable discoveries are still being found today in pockets, drawers, and forgotten collections just like yours. If this documentary opened your eyes to the hidden treasure hiding in plain sight, make sure to subscribe, hit like, and drop a comment telling us what coins you're going to check first. Keep watching, keep searching, and keep checking your coins, because the next life-changing discovery could be sitting right in your own home. Thanks for watching my video.